welcome to Little Likac podcast, episode 40. I double checked today. I said episode 40 last time and it wasn't, it was 39. Welcome to episode 40. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the middle of the UK. So yeah, my name's Amanda. I live in Derby with my husband, my daughter, my dog named Stu, who sometimes makes guest appearances on the pod, and this is my podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since I did my last podcast, which is my usual schedule. In the meantime, I've been doing Vlogtober as well, and I'm finding it really difficult to keep track of what I've talked about on the vlog and what I talked about on the podcast. I'm trying not to overlap them too much, so that it's not too repetitive. So apologies if I'm talking about stuff today that you've seen loads about on the podcast, but sorry, on the vlog. But on the vlog, I'm only trying to mention the knitting stuff quite briefly and things. Yeah. Anyway. So today I've got a couple of finished objects to show you. I have got the giveaway winner to announce from the last podcast. I have got a new cast on and some works in progress. So yeah, quite a lot to show you today. The first finished object that I am going to show you is this, and I had actually finished it before the last podcast and I completely forgot to show it because I'd finished it and I was wearing it and I'd forgotten that I'd finished it. That you hadn't seen it, because this was really quick to knit. It only took me 5 days. I cast it on the Saturday evening when we got home from Yarndale, so I only probably just did the ribbing. Not even sure I finished the ribbing on that first evening, and I'd finished it by the Wednesday, I think it was. I finished it off. I actually finished it maybe on the Thursday evening because I've got a feeling I finished it in the knit group. I think I sat there and did the tassel and everything and finished it in knit group. So I absolutely love this hat. My kids and my husband don't particularly love it, but there we go. I love it. It is the Patrick and Mary Kep, K-E-P, by Hot Butter Yarns, and I bought it as a kit. I bought it as a kit from the Yorkshire Yarn Show. And it is Faro, so there's no row that is more than 2 colours at one time. So although there are a lot of colours in it, you're never knitting more than 2 colours in any row, and some rows you're only knitting 1 colour. It was knitted in the round, so there's never any purling. And yeah, I had started it in episode 38 because I think I said about the fact that the pattern wasn't exactly beginner friendly. But the actual pattern in respect of the charts and the design were not complicated, but I meant it's not beginner friendly in respect of the actual instructions for the pattern. The yarn is a DK wool. I don't know anything more than that because I say I bought it as a kit, and so it was literally her, the lady who runs Hot Butter Yarns, she dyes her own yarn and then weighs it out, so you just get enough of each colour. Having said that, I have got quite a lot left over of some of the colours. So I'm really pleased with this. I love it. I'll put it on again. I've worn it quite a few times. I was wearing it on the vlog yesterday when I was doing when I was doing a park run yesterday. I wasn't running, I was marshalling, and I had it on and I had a couple of people comment on my hat as well. So I love it. So that was one finished object, the Patrick and Mary Kep. So I'm really into my colour work at the moment. So the other finished object I've got to show you are my mittens. The October mittens that were for, well, they were on my make 9, so I've been planning on knitting them this year anyway. And then I had a bit of a kick to do them when I realised that Amanda Davis from Mouse's Makes was doing a knit along for October, and so that encouraged me to get them started, and I got them finished then because we were going to Prague. I'm so sorry that I've been going on and on about Prague. But my husband was telling me that it was going to be cold, so I was like, right, I need to get the mittens finished. So last time you saw these, I had finished one, but I hadn't done the thumb on either mitten. and I'd finished one and I was up to about there on the second mitten. So I had already said that they are a little bit tight fitting, and I even put a couple of extra stitches in the thumb, down the centre of the thumb, and even then they're still not exactly they're not exactly roomy, especially in the thumbs. I did wear them in Prague, but only briefly because it really wasn't that cold. But those are the finished mittens. I'm holding them like that because actually they are supposed to, they do line up, but I can't do it on here. Look. Do they line up that way? I know that they line up. Can't get them to line up. They're supposed to line up anyway. A bit like that, I think. And that's the inside of them. Also, last time you saw these as well, had I made the mistake in them? Or was that in a vlog? Can't remember. Anyway, I do love them. I love the look of them. Even though, and actually they would be fine for a walk. I mean, mittens aren't the most practical for doing stuff in anyway. The thumbs are a little bit tight, but they are just a work of art, and I'm so pleased with them. And they did knit up really quickly when I actually got set my mind to it. They really didn't take a very long time to actually knit them. So those are my second finished object, the October mittens. They are from a collection of mittens called the Woodland Winter Mittens, which was originally sold as a kit by Knitpicks. There were 2 different colourways. The next pair of these that I'm going to knit, and I hopefully will knit a second pair, will be one of the ones perhaps with snowflakes, but I'm going to knit them on larger needles, so that and with a longer cuff, so that they are more roomy. But who knows when that second pair will get knitted. They were knitted using Knitpicks palette, and as I say, I got the kit from Knitpicks quite a few years ago. I think it's still available to buy. Right, so those are both my finished objects. So next I'm going to do the giveaway. And I should have said all the thank yous as well at the beginning, shouldn't I? So thank you so much to everybody who is a new subscriber. I was really excited because we were just around about the 600 mark. And I got quite excited about that. And now I'm well over 700 subscribers, which I'm super excited about. So that's just amazing. So if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Please click that subscribe button. And I said last time then that you could leave any comment on episode 39 and you would be entered for a giveaway. And the prize for the giveaway is this skein of 4-ply finger weight sock yarn. It is 25% nylon, 75% merino. It is a one-of-a-kind one dyed by me. It's got no colourway name, etc. It was just one that I threw a load of dye at the end of a dyeing session, and it is mostly purples. It's got a little bit of teal in it. It is really pretty actually. I think it will knit up really nicely. So everybody who commented on the last podcast up until about 5 minutes ago, you are in the draw. So I'm using a random YouTube random comment picker. There were 53 comments left, so I am going to press pick a winner. Oh, has it done it? Marina's Yarn Harbour is the winner. And she said, so much fun to use up leftover dye like that. You never know what you'll get, and this turned out lovely. So she obviously liked it, so you're going to win it. So if you get in touch with me, Marina, if you contact me, email me on littlelikac@gmail.com, or send me a message on Instagram, and then with your address I will get that posted out to you. One thing also I'm going to say about comments, lots of people have left loads of comments on Vlogtober, on my podcast, and I'm really struggling to keep up with replies. So I'm going to really try this week to go through and respond to as many of those as I can. I do read them all because I get a notification and I always read them. And I don't like to just click a like on them because if I click the like, then it disappears off of my feed and I have to go searching for them. and I actually like to respond to them more than just with a like. So if you have responded, left a comment, I will have read it, and I promise I will have read it, and I'm going to try and go back through and respond to them, especially as people have asked a few questions. I'm trying to think some of the questions people have asked. Some of them are on Vlogtober as well, so I will try and respond to them with the respond to the questions. Okay, so that is the giveaway done. Don't forget as well, if you are watching Vlogtober, don't forget that we are running a giveaway with Vlogtober to win the October Mystery Yarn Club, which was the Hansel and Gretel one. So if you want to win that, you need to be watching Vlogtober, and you need to be keeping a note of where you see the little crocheted pumpkin in each episode, and then at the end of October send me an email with a little note where you've seen the pumpkin, and then we will draw a winner from that to win that. Right, take a deep breath, Amanda. I feel like I'm rushing through. So, new cast-ons. No, works in progress first. The Yarndale socks, which is in the Nigel bag, using the Nigel yarn from Yarndale. So the Yarndale yarn is by West Yorkshire Spinners. They produce a yarn every year that is made for the Yarndale Yarn Festival. So it's West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, and this colourway is Nigel, and it's named after a sheep each time. This was not this year's colourway, it's the colourway from last year, I think, maybe. But I really liked the colours. So last time you saw this, I was just on the hill flap, and now I am most of the way down. Oh, that's alright, nothing important there. And now I am most of the way down the foot. So I'm just going to move the progress keeper, because I'm rubbish at remembering to do that. So I'm going to move the progress keeper, and I'll hopefully get this finished fairly soon. I kind of work on this on Zoom calls sometimes. I actually took it with me to the park run yesterday and knitted on it a little bit while I was waiting for runners to come, while I was marshalling. So it's just one of those projects that just gets worked on as and when I can, and I just love the colours. So that is coming on. To be fair, I've only worked on a few projects this last couple of weeks, partly because I've been away, so I took 2 projects away with me. I wanted to get the mittens finished, so that was job done. Working on the Yarndale socks. The Strictly socks, I don't think I've touched those in the last couple of weeks. Because then one of the other main focuses I had was the blanket, the knit-along blanket that I'm doing, that's run by Stylecraft. Yes, Stylecraft. And that is the Cablemagiria pattern, and it is a beautiful cabled blanket. And the first part of the pattern was released nearly 2 weeks ago, and it was using this yarn, which is Stylecraft Highland Heathers. This is the colourway 3746 Thrift, and this is all I've got left of 3 balls of this. The 100-gram balls, I wouldn't say there's more than 50 grams of this left. It must have used 2.5 balls to do the first section. And the first section were just these pretty straightforward strips of very simple cables. You do 2 strips, one with the cables going one way, one with the cables going the other way. And each strip is 140 centimetres, and I have both strips done. Just looking a bit worried then that when I'm holding them together one looks shorter than the other. No, there's no power, it's both the same. Yeah, so I've done the first 2 strips. Now these are actually the outer edge strips, so we're working outwards, and then each week, or every 2 weeks, the next section of the pattern gets released. So we've done the 2 outer strips, and then on Tuesday coming up we'll get the pattern for the next 2 strips, and so on, till you get into the middle, and the middle strip is just one wide strip. Although I think this is possibly the narrowest strips. So I've cracked on with that, got both of these done. I had done 3/4 of one strip, then when we went away I took the second strip and the second ball of wool with me, or the third ball of wool with me, and started it on the plane going to Prague on Monday. And then when we landed home on Friday, I had literally just run out of wool on that ball, and so I had done, I think, 110 centimetres out of the 140 while we were away, and that was quite easy to work on. So I took that, it was easy to work on, took it on the plane. I took bamboo needles, because a few people commented on that, the fact that I had taken needles on the plane. Well, I never take metal needles on the plane, because they're likely to get confiscated. Doesn't matter, by the way, it's not about who you fly with, because they're very unlikely to take the actual needles off you on the plane, although I suppose they could do. It is much more about the airport security, because the airport security is not run by the airline. The airport security is run by the airport. And the reason why I know it really doesn't matter what the airline says is because a couple of years ago I checked what the airline said, and it said you could take in your hand luggage a pair of scissors, like nail scissors, as long as the blade was less than a certain length. I think it was 1 inch or half an inch. So I packed a very small pair of scissors, and they got taken out of my hand luggage, and they said no scissors. This was in Manchester Airport, I think it was probably 10 years ago. No scissors, and just took the scissors, and I tried to argue. I said, but it says you can take, and they just went no scissors and just threw them into this box of confiscated items, and that was it. Bye bye. So, but the needles went through fine, and they were needles like this. So I never take metal needles. I never take my Knit Pro Symphony needles, because even though they're wood, if they were to be confiscated, I'd be very upset, because they're expensive. Because you know, they don't give you a chance to say, let me just do, you know, they take them and they throw them away in front of you, basically. So I just take these bamboo, very cheap. I bought these years ago, job lot on eBay or Amazon, where you got like a full set of cheap bamboo circular needles. I don't know, for like a tenner, maybe less, maybe a £5. So I take those, because if they were to take these, obviously they would pull them out of the work, which wouldn't have again been the end. Well, I hadn't cast this on anyway when we left, and throw those away, and I wouldn't be gutted. I also think with bamboo, they are much less likely to confiscate them or see them as a threat. On the way home, actually, I had bought some point protectors, which I bought from Flying Tiger while we were in Prague, which is a Danish shop actually. So I had put those on, so I can't help but play with them when I've got these point protectors on. So I had put those on, and so also they probably looked even less threatening in the X-ray machine. So yeah, that's my advice. My advice on knitting on a plane is either take a crochet hook, because that is not pointed, but I appreciate a crochet hook is not going to be good for knitting on a plane. My advice for crochet or knitting on a plane is do crochet, because a crochet hook is far less likely to get confiscated. Do not take scissors. Take one of these things if you've got one, which is has a blade inside there. So if you're going to need to cut the yarn, otherwise don't worry about taking. And if you're going to take needles, take cheap plastic or wooden needles, circular, because they're going to be smaller, smaller pointed parts, and you'll probably be okay. That's my advice. Okay, so yeah, that is the Cablemagiria blanket. The next part of that is going to be released on Tuesday morning. How much I get knitted on this before I see you in 2 weeks' time depends on a new project that I'm going to be working on as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the next project, and I honestly can't remember if I had started this the last time I saw you or not. 2 weeks ago. I genuinely don't know. I think I was waiting for the wool to arrive for it. And this is the baby cardigan that a colleague at work had requested. And I don't think I'd started it because I think I was still waiting for the wool. So the wool I'm using is this, which is Hayfield Bonus DK. And I've got quite a few different pieces of this. It is knitted in pieces. The cardigan, the jacket that I'm doing, it's a Sirdar pattern. I will put one of my little cards up, but now I'm annoyed because I know that I had this open, but because I did the YouTube comment picker. Right, okay, so this is the pattern. So cute. And I am doing that version of it. I'm doing it with the hat and the cardigan. There is a jumper, which you can see there, and there is a hooded version of the jacket as well. So I'm doing it in this colour, which is called Moon, and it's just Hayfield Bonus DK. And this is for a colleague for her grandson. And it is definitely in pieces because the actual main body of it, the back and the front, has a lot of cabling and you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. The rest of it, the sleeves and the hat, are all made of moss stitch. So last Sunday I went to a dance festival to watch my daughter dance, and that will be the vlog from the 16th of October if you want to see more about that. So I took with me, I decided not to take the cardigan itself because there was too much cabling, too much concentration, but the hat was just ribbing and then moss stitch. So I did the hat, needs a pom-pom still, I did the ribbing and nearly the whole hat. I just had got to the point of where you do the crown decreases in that day, so it was brilliant. So the hat just needs sewing together and a pom-pom making for it. I did consider knitting it in the round, but there was no benefit from doing that particularly because it's moss stitch, so it's knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, whichever way you do it, in the round or back and front. And then also I thought if I didn't have a circular needle small enough, it was actually going to stretch it out of shape, so it won't take long to seam that up. So that's the hat. It's really cute, and so it just needs the pom-pom making. Then when we went away, again I thought I don't want to take the actual main part of the jacket to do while I'm away, so I decided I would take the stuff with me just to work on the sleeves. So I got one sleeve completely finished while we were away. So I got one sleeve completely finished. It's a raglan sleeve, hence the reason why it's got that weird shaping there. So when it's folded over, that will come up to the top of the neckline. That's the little sleeve. I have started on the second sleeve, and in fact I think I'm pretty much probably at the point of the raglan decreases for that. In fact I'm sure I am. So the second sleeve is nearly finished. I've got yarn everywhere, it's got caught on something. So I've started on the second sleeve, so I might do that this evening, doing the raglan decreases. And then the back, is also at the raglan decreases stage. So that's the back. I think I had shown it to you because I think I had just done a little bit, because I've moved the progress keeper, because it's 24 rows for the pattern repeat. So I've moved the progress keeper to the start of the second lot of 24 rows so that I can keep track more easily. So to be fair, next time I podcast, this should all be finished and gifted, because really my deadline for this in my head, I really want to get it finished for next Monday to give to my colleague next Monday. So there's not much point putting progress keepers in to show you the progress, particularly because what I'll do is when I've finished it though is I will take a bit of video, I'll record myself showing it again with it all finished before I gift it, and I'll insert it on the next podcast. So shouldn't take too long, should get it finished by next Monday. Today is Sunday. The only thing that could be an issue is I've taken on a big project, and that project is a Fair Isle vest / tank top for a local production for Christmas in Derby Theatre. Now I am still waiting. I've agreed to do it because it's only for a young person, so for a teenager / older child, I don't know, 12, 13-year-old. So my theory was that it wouldn't be too big. It's a vest, so there'll be no sleeves. And I knitted this Fair Isle hat in like 5 days. So my theory was, I'm off for 2 weeks. I knew I wouldn't be able to start on it until after I got back from Prague, but I was hoping that I'd be able to collect the materials for it yesterday, Saturday. We flew back on Friday, but the person in charge has been ill, and anyway, so I haven't even seen the pattern yet. I'm just hoping it's not overly complicated, because it's a really short turnaround because they need it ready for dress rehearsals and tech rehearsals and things like that. So it could be, once that arrives, once I get the wool and pattern for that, it could be nothing else gets worked on. So, but I'm not going to get that till Tuesday. So really, in reality, I need to work like Billy-O on that cardigan to get as much of that done in the next couple of days as possible. Which is another reason then why the blanket might not get any attention either, because the blanket can wait till after until after the Fair Isle vest is on. I'm also not sure if I'll be able to show the vest on the next podcast because it's being used in a show. I might wait, again, video myself talking about it and show it once the show has started, or even have to wait until... I should be able to show it once the show has started because they'll have released press pictures and things like that. So, yeah. So I'm excited to do it, but now I'm getting a bit nervous because I'm only going to have like 2.5 weeks to do it, and I thought I'd have more like 3.5 weeks or 3 weeks, and I thought I'd have a good full week including 2 weekends of working on it. And actually the end of this week is going to get busier, so I have got marking to do. So I'm actually going to go into school tomorrow and work on marking tomorrow, so that I haven't got that pressure at the end of the week. We are going to go and visit my daughter at university next weekend on Sunday, and I've got to pack up the advent orders as well, and that will probably take quite a few hours as well. So I am a little bit worried about the Fair Isle vest now, but you know, if I set my mind to it, should be fine. I mean, I'm going to be honest, if I go and collect the stuff on Tuesday and it's a really complicated pattern and it's fingering weight yarn or 4-ply yarn and with, I don't know, and it's not Fair Isle, then they may get told, I'm really sorry, but this is just too short notice now, or too short a time frame to do it. Fingers crossed though, fingers crossed. Right, one other thing to show you, acquisitions. Now if you've seen the Prague vlog, then you will have seen this already, so apologies that this one has got crossover. I will leave a link to the Prague vlog below, so if you want, because I did buy a few other little knitting bits while we were there. But yes, while we were in Prague, I went and found a yarn shop. It was at the top of a very steep hill, so we did a bit of a trek, and I only bought one skein of yarn, so I thought it was pretty good actually. And it's actually dyed and sold just by that shop called Wool Point in Prague, so it's unique to them. Very autumnal colours, and it's a Donegal nep. I have no idea what I'm going to knit with it, but I just thought it was really pretty, and I wanted something that was definitely check, and the fact that it was actually something from her own shop, you know, unique to that shop, made it even made it more exciting, more interesting, more fun to buy. So it's Zoo Fibres Donegal white nep, 84% merino, 16% cotton acrylic nep. I don't know how it can be cotton acrylic, but who knows. Anyway, so yeah, I do love the purples, the greens, the blues. It's a really nice colourway. Golden yellow, it's really autumnal. So that will remind me of our trip to Prague. And I think that is it. I think that is it. I've talked about the next thing that's going to get cast on, which is the Farewell vest. Shown you what I've knitted on. I think that's it. Life, if you want to know more about my life, it's all there in the vlogs at the moment, so you can see my daily life. I recorded one for every day up to day 16. Then while we were in Prague, I videoed over the 5 days. We were there Monday to Friday, and then put it all together in one big vlog, and uploaded that yesterday. And then from day 22 onwards, it will be a daily vlog again until the end of the month, 31st of October. Really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed doing the vlog, actually. I am now umming and ahhing whether to do it in December as well, but I haven't decided on that yet. We shall see. I don't know if whether it'll be a bit soon, having done it all the way through October, just having November as a break and doing it again in December, or whether just to leave it and just do it in October. I don't know. If you've got an opinion on that, got a strong opinion, let me know. Those of you who are watching the vlog, thank you so much. Would you like to see another one in December? Do you think actually just leave it and do another one next October? I don't know. There's so many vlogs to watch, aren't there? And Vlogmas is a huge, probably more popular than Vlogtober. So I'm not sure. Let me know what you think anyway. And that's it really. Yeah, the other giveaway that's been running at the moment is through the vlog. So I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you've got anything to say. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye. Thanks for watching.